Hello and welcome back to our reading of the Bible. This is the second day of reading our Bible, and now we are going to start from Genesis chapter 5. Yesterday we had read from Genesis chapter 1 to chapter 4, but now we are going to start from chapter 5 until chapter 8. As you all know, we are having a target of reading the Bible for the whole year. And as we're just starting, I hope we go together on this journey. Let us start. We are now on Genesis chapter 5. That is from, and then Genesis chapter 5. This is the written account of Adam line. When God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them. And when they were created, he called them man. When the man had lived 130 years, he had a son. Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son, in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived 930 years, and then he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. And after he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Canaan. And after he became the father of Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived 905 years, and then he died. When Canaan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. And after he had become the father of Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Canaan lived 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. And after he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalalel lived 895 years, and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. And after he had become the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. And after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived 365 years. Enoch walked with God. Then he was no more, because God took him away. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. And after he became the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Methuselah lived 969 years, and then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noah and said, he will comfort us in labor and painful toil of our hand, caused by the ground the Lord has cast. After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Chapter 6, the flood. When men began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the Son of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit will not contend with man forever, for he is mortal. His days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were heroes of old, men of renown. The Lord saw how great man's wickedness on the earth had become, and every inclination of the thought of his heart was only evil all the time. The Lord was grieved that he had made man on earth, and his heart was filled with pain. So the Lord said, I will wipe mankind whom I have created from the face of the earth, men and animals, creatures that move along the ground, and birds of the air, for I am grieved that I made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. This is the account of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I'm going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I'm surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood. Make room in it and coat with it pitch inside and out. This is how you're going to build it. The ark is to be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Make a roof for it and finish the ark to within 18 inches of the top. Put a door on the side of the ark and make lower, middle, and upper decks. I'm going to bring flood waters on the earth and destroy all life under heavens, every creature that has breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons, and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. You are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, and to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of birds, of every kind of animal, and every kind of creature that move along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for them. Noah did everything just as God had commanded him. Chapter 7. The Lord said to Noah, go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found your righteousness in this generation. Take with you 7 of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 2 of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate, and also 7 of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. 7 days from now I will send rain on the earth, and for 40 days and 40 nights I will wipe them from the face of the earth, every living creature I have made. And Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came on earth, and Noah and his sons and his wives and his son's wife entered the ark to escape the water of the floods. Pairs of clean and unclean animals, of birds and all creatures that move along the ground, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark, as God had commanded Noah. And after 7 days, the flood waters came on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, on that day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On that very day, Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, together with his wives and the wives of his 3 sons, entered the ark. They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, all livestock according to their kind, every creature that moved along the ground according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, everything with wings. Pairs of all creatures that have breath of life in them came to Noah, and entered the ark. The animals going in were male and female of every living thing as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. For 40 days, the floods kept coming on the earth. And as the water increased, they lifted the ark high above the earth. The water rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains and the entire heavens were covered. The waters rose and covered the mountains to a depth of more than 20 feet. Every living thing that moved on the earth perished. Birds, livestock, wild animals, all the creatures that swam over the earth, and all mankind, everything on dry land that had breath of life in its nostrils died. Every living thing on the face of the earth was wiped out. Men and animals and creatures that move along the ground and the birds of the air were wiped out from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. The water flooded the earth for 150 days. But God, Genesis chapter 8, but God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark. And he sent a wind over the earth, and the water receded. Now the spring of the deep and the floodgates of the heaven had been closed, and the rains had stopped falling from the sky. The water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the water had gone down, and on the ark came to rest on the mountain. And on the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on the mountain of Ararat. The water continued to recede until the 10th month, and on the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountain became visible. After 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark. He sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the waters had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove would not find no place to set its feet, because there was water over all the surfaces of the earth. So it returned to Noah in the ark. He reached out his hand and took the dove and brought it back to himself in the ark. He waited 7 more days and again set out the dove from the ark. When the dove returned to him in the evening, there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Then Noah knew that the water had receded from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again, but this time it did not return to him. By the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth. Noah then removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. By the 27th day of the 2nd month, the earth was completely dry. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives, and bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, the animal, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in numbers upon it." Now Noah came out together with his sons and wives and his son's wife, all the animals and all the creatures that move along the ground, and all the birds, everything that moves on the earth came out of the ark, one kind after the other. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and clean bird, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. The Lord smelled the pleasing aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of man, even though every inclination of his heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, will never cease. And that's the end of our second day of reading the Bible. We still have a long way to go, but we are trusting the Lord that He will bring this to accomplishment. Thank you. See you tomorrow for the next edition of the Bible reading.